do not be discouraged by the struggle. Mm-hmm. The struggle is a good sign that the Spirit of God is at work in your life.
Yeah.
If you're not struggling in any way over sin, I worry about you.
Yeah.
But if you're that person's like, dude, I'm just struggling. Good, bro. Mm-hmm. Because what you're recognizing is that there's this war, as you said, raging between your flesh and the Spirit. And both of these are trying to win out over the other. You know, your flesh is trying to draw you away from God and toward sin. And the Spirit of God is trying to draw you away from sin and toward God in a life of righteousness. And so that internal battle shows that the Spirit is in you, that you have been saved, that He is working to save you in present time from the power of sin. Be encouraged by the struggle.
Yeah.
Lean into the struggle.
Yeah.
The great news is the Spirit of God can give you power to put the flesh to death, that the flesh has no authority over you. As Paul says in Romans 8, you're not obligated to sin any longer. Mm-hmm. You do not have to say yes. The enemy wants you to believe the lie that you have to say yes, that the flesh is too strong for you, that you can't overcome it, but the Spirit of God is there so that you can. Yeah. And so as long as you will walk in step with Him, and yield to Him each day and ask Him for what you need to put the flesh to death, He'll give it to you, and then He'll lead you in the way you should go.
There's nobody coming. There's nobody coming to save you. There's nobody coming to help you. A knight in shining armor isn't going to ride in and save you. You are the only one that's going to be able to save you. And all this time, you point your finger and you say, I can't do that because I was born here. Or I can't do that because I have this issue. Or I can't do that because they made fun of me. And you know what's going to happen? Nothing. You're going to get more of the same. You're going to get laughed at more. You're going to be ashamed more. You're going to be frustrated more. And you're going to really regret at the end of your life that you put off taking responsibility for yourself and building yourself into what could be.
If you want to be great, you want to be the baddest motherfucker ever at what you do, you could be misunderstood by everybody because you're going to be so fucking obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes.
That's the truth.
It takes every second of your life. Anybody says balance? Yeah, balance is important for a lot of people. It is. But if you want to go to that edge where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you do, you've arrived. When you are misunderstood to the point where people think you're psycho and you're nuts and you're this and that, why are you in the gym at 1 o'clock in the morning? You just got to doing an op for 13, 14 hours at the Ranger School, man, at the gym. What is wrong? You will never understand what is wrong with me. And that's why I'm so glad you don't, because I'm in the right spot. When people don't understand you anymore, you're in that spot of obsession and drive where people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I don't want to talk to you, man, because you're not going to get it.
I think 3 components of somebody that does something very big with their lives. 1, they experienced unconditional love from one person. You only need one person to give you unconditional love. For you to know that's possible and it exists, normally it's someone's mom. But you need, meaning you can get arrested, you can do anything you're doing. That person's going to love you no matter what. You have to experience that. Number 2,
to be successful.
You have to have that because you have to know that it's worth the pain. Love is worth the pain you're going to go through in the chaotic times. The second thing you need is hardcore betrayal and pain from someone you loved. So you love somebody so much, but no matter what you do, you're never going to get this person. It could be a female, it could be a father. Yeah. It could be a mother, it could be a uncle, it could be anything. But it's pain. So you're constantly engaged and proving to this person that you're worthy, but no one knows. It's a secret between you and that person. It's a relationship, and you're never going to win, but you need it. And the last one is the right enemy. Most people don't choose the right enemy. Most people choose a dumb enemy that gets them for 3 months or 3 weeks or a couple of years and even brings out the bad side of you. But if you get the right enemy going, it can bring out a whole different side of you.
There's a hell of a lot more to you than you think, like way more. Enough to cope with the trouble of the world inside you. There's enough to cope with the trouble of the world. And you, if you had enough courage, you could let that out. Enough courage and faith, you could let that out, and everything would be better because of it. Really, really. And so that's a good story, and it's also true. And so I'm trying to tell that story.
Man, who are you when it goes south, man? Not when you get what you want. We know when the sun's shining and you get what you want, you gonna smile.
Right.
Babies do that. I give them a bottle, they gonna smile. I give them what they want, they gonna smile. I give a puppy a snack, he gonna smile. But when you don't get what you want, when it doesn't go the way you want it to, even if it affects and impacts you on a physical level, who are you? Right? Because that's the person that your kids are gonna learn from. That's the person that your parents raised. That's the person that will go out and either positively or negatively affect and impact the world. Who are you?
Do you think that everyone has purpose?
The way I look at it is, you, Theo, were born with a DNA that will never be replicated in the past or in the future. It's a unique marker of you, right? So genetically, there is something different about you. Weird, odd, great, whatever you want to put it, okay? And it's like something that's planted at your birth. It's what makes you different from everybody else. It's even what makes you different from your parents, right? I mean, you do inherit their genetics, but it's always different, okay? And so that's like a seed at your birth. If you cultivate that seed, if you cultivate your uniqueness, it gives you a purpose in life. It's why you are unique. You can look at it as if somebody or it's just nature intended it to be this way, but it's what makes you you. It's your energy, it's your character, it's your weirdness, it's your sense of humor. It's what draws you to certain things, what you hate about certain things. It's you.
You know, listen to what from my experience, I found out that God, it tests you. It tests you and see how much of this you can take before you say, let's just be finished with this. You know what I mean? It wants to show you something. It wants to see how much you can take, how much you can handle of life. You say you love life, you want to live life. I'm going to show you life. Life is beautiful, but you have to accept the good and the bad as being beautiful. You can't accept the good, oh, this is beautiful. Then we lose somebody, oh, life sucks. Life is beautiful because life gave us the ability to just know them on our journey in life. We met them. We loved them. They cared about us. That's the purpose of life. Just to enjoy what we had, what we journeyed through it.
I talk often about the importance of trauma as a man. I think that if you were to find the most interesting or most capable men on the planet, they've had the most trauma-filled lives. I just think that trauma is what teaches you. We talked earlier about how you have to have lessons taught to you the hardest way. If you were to call a Navy SEAL and ask him to protect you going into a building full of assailants, you'd like to think that guy's been through some stuff. You'd like to see some scars, right? So lessons and trauma, and the more you go through, the better of a man you are. And if you were to find the best men on the planet, I guarantee they've been through a bunch of terrible things. And if you listen to podcasts from any of the most interesting people on the planet, usually they've had hard, terrible lives. And you can use that trauma to become a better person, or you can let that trauma consume you and destroy you. But I thank God for all of it, because it gave me endless power to become the person I am.
You're not living the best life that you want to live. You're not the person you want to be. You're not the person the 8-year-old you wanted to be. And I bet you're not even taking steps to become that person, are you? It's that little version of yourself that hides deep inside your heart that you are so afraid to even talk about because you're afraid the people around you are gonna laugh. Well, guess what, motherfucker? They're gonna laugh, and they're gonna laugh more if you don't do anything. You're gonna get criticized no matter what you do. If you go hard, people are gonna criticize you. If you stay a lazy piece of shit, people are gonna criticize you. So you gotta realize that it's up to you to decide what it is you truly want. And it's up to you to accept what pain you are willing to accept. Because if you struggle and you flounder and you refuse to take responsibility for yourself and become that version that you know you're supposed to become, you will be miserable.
The one thing that made me who I am today is being vulnerable. It's breaking myself down to the absolute rock bottom and being able to tell people who I am. And that's how I fixed it. Literally, being able to look somebody in the eyes, you know what, man? I have a whole bunch of character problems, character flaws. I've lied about this. I've cheated here. I'm insecure here. This isn't the real me. I lied to you about that. I wanted your acceptance in life. All those things happen, but the thing about it is that we get judged so quickly by who we are. We don't know. We don't go to where it happened. You know, life created this person, me. Life created me to be the person that I was back in the day. And I had to realize, man, that's okay, man. It's not my fault. Now I gotta go back and fix this though. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this isn't your fault, why you do some things you do, why you feel the way you feel. But no one's coming back to save your ass. You have to go back to where they started, wherever that place is for everybody, and have the courage to go back there and start fixing what broke you. Mm-hmm. And that's when I was like, hey, I'm f***ed up. I'm gonna go back and fix this though.
When I die, people will be dividing up my assets, arguing over who gets what. There's going to be a caterer at my funeral. Some people won't make it because something came up and they got busy. And then the few people that are there are probably no one that I have in my life right now. And the fact that every single person that I have in my life might not even make it to the funeral to speak over me while I'm dead. It's like, why on earth would I listen to them while I'm alive? Like, they can't even make it to probably the single most important personal day of someone's life is someone's funeral, right? The one time you can pay your last respect, and they don't even do that. And so it's like, why would I give any weight to what these people are doing when they're not even going to be there on the day that matters most?
Just because something is hard to obtain does not mean that it is valuable.
Just because something is hard to obtain doesn't mean it's valuable.
Correct. Yeah, just because it's difficult to get doesn't mean that it's valuable. Look at the car he's driving, look at the watch he's wearing, look at the girl he's with. These things were hard to obtain, so you presumed that they were valuable, but you didn't realize that what's genuinely valuable are friendships and relationships, and a comfort and a confidence in yourself and peace of mind and sanity and being able to positively impact the people around you.
I tell kids all the time, if you even have this much savage in you, everything out there right now is for the taking. If you are willing to go out there and grind and work hard, you know, you got these people that don't want to go to work, they want to stay home and work from home and all that. There's going to be a small group of hungry savages out there that are going to run every one of you over, and you can sit home and you can cry and complain about how you didn't get yours and it's because this person had this opportunity that you didn't have. Everything out there is for the taking.
The most important decision you can make above any on the face of the earth is deciding that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what happens, you're going to live in a beautiful state. And what the hell does that mean? It means that you're not going to suffer. It means a beautiful state is that you're going to be happy, but that's only one. Or you're going to feel creative, or you're going to be passionate, or you're going to be in awe of something, or you're going to feel love. Any state that's a beautiful state is really the core essence of who you are without fear.
The structure that you use to orient yourself in your life is dependent on your values. And you might say, well, if you don't value human life, let's say, above all, well, then you don't value yourself above all. You value something else above that. You're going to pay for that in one way or another. Now, you might say, well, that's a price that I think is worth paying, or I don't think that human beings should be put on the top. You know, that's your prerogative. But you will absolutely 100% pay in full for everything that you've done and for everything that you haven't done. I mean, how can it be otherwise?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what are you going to do? Reality isn't going to make itself manifest because of your whim. That's not going to happen. And you know, you can think about that religiously or not. There's no escaping from what is.
The individuals that don't pursue their own dreams are not going to push you to pursue yours. You have a dark side that refuses to be taught to be good. Every individual in this room has a dark side. This is about what lights your own fire, what's unique to you, what gets things done when nothing else will. It's about the individual that's been raised either in a broken home or by a single parent or no parent, and they handle the situation two ways. One uses it as an excuse for the rest of their life, and you got the other individual that says, watch me.
Success is a form of revenge, Success is the best form of revenge. I don't believe in getting revenge on anybody.
No.
I've had people screw me over for money, break my heart, upset me. Any concept of trying to, who was it that, I think it was Mahatma Gandhi, he said, being angry at someone is like holding a burning stone in your hand with the intention of throwing at them. Like, it might do them some damage, but it'll do you more damage first. I don't hold on to these.
But it could be fuel though, couldn't it? I mean,
it can be, but I didn't ever need fuel. I didn't need fuel to go and make something of myself. It's just naturally happened as a form of revenge. So the people who screwed me over in the past are now watching things like this thinking, oh, I wish I'd stayed friends with that guy. And I just don't care. I don't really think about them. Success is a form of revenge. I think it's the only form of revenge that any man should ever care about trying to reach, because it's beneficial for you and it's the best form of revenge. Actually physically trying to hurt people, sue people, damage people, take any kind of revenge. It's got incel energy about it.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase. Because anything else, it's gonna disappoint you. You're gonna forever be sad, man. If you don't chase that dream, you're gonna forever be miserable, man.
It's not glamorous, it's lonely. As you start changing, everything around you starts changing, people around you start, like it's not even fun in the beginning. And so you'd either have to have an incredible amount of hope or a ridiculous amount of inspiration and delusion, or you have to be in so much pain that the alternative to continuing this pain that you're in is to try something different because it's the only thing that might be slightly less painful than what you're doing.
We're built to walk uphill. And when you reach the pinnacle of the hill, you want to stop and appreciate the vision, but the next thing you want is a higher hill in the distance, because it's from the uphill climb that we derive our value. And I mean this technically. So almost all the positive emotion we feel, that's experienced in relationship to a goal. And so in some sense, you want a goal that you can never attain, right? So you can always move closer to the goal that recedes as you move towards it. You think, well, that's frustrating. It's like Sisyphus pushing the rock uphill. But it's not, because as you pursue that goal, you put yourself together and your life does get better and richer and more abundant.
It's an amazing thing about passion. If you love something, if you have a strong passion for something, you would go to the extreme to try to understand or try to get it. If you have to walk, you would go get it. If you have to beg someone, you would go get it.
I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it.
You can't have an easy life and a great character. Show me a trust fund kid that inherited a bunch of money, and I'll show you someone mentally tortured. Having stuff isn't fun. Getting stuff is fun, right? It's not the pursuit of happiness. It's the happiness of the pursuit, right? It's that thing, and it's not like, the self-help, it's not the journey, it's the destination. It's not either the journey or the destination. It's who you become on the journey. And here's the terrible thing about life. It's self-assignment.
Once you know better, you gotta almost do better. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I refuse to ignore it. I refuse to see it an opportunity that I had to change things and act like it didn't exist.
I think that if you look at any man who's very good at being a man, most of them have had extremely traumatic lives. Yeah. If you're going to talk about the most brave man you can think of, he's been through trauma. If you think of the best soldier you can think of, he's been through trauma. You think about anything, the man who's going to charge into the burning building, the fireman, he's been through trauma. If you find a man who's never had any traumatic experiences, he's terrible at being a man. Yeah. He's weak and he's soft and he'll collapse and he's never struggled. I know me, and I don't want to tell a bunch of stories on the internet, but I know all the shit I went through and all the pain I had to suffer to become the man I am. And every time I meet another guy who has his life in order, it's the same story. this fucked me up, but I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna attack the world anyway. And that's how it goes. So as a man, you're right. You have to be vulnerable, you have to feel it, you have to accept it, but you have to put it in a positive direction. This is what's so dangerous about what we were saying earlier, where people make excuses and externalize. Because they're taking that trauma and that pain, instead of going, I fucked up. She left me because I wasn't good enough. I'm gonna become better. Instead, she is the problem. It's there, and then they lose their ability to go and become something. They lose their own motivational force, and then they sit there with a fucking ego and arrogance and go, I don't need to become any better. I can stay a jackass. It's all her fault. I'll find another one. And then it happens on repeat, and it just ends up a downward cycle of dumb shit.
Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey.